still stay by me and know that. I didn't just know the audio.
Sorry, I didn't see your text.
What?
Sorry, I didn't see your text.
Oh, you're right.
Did you park that way?
I parked by the park.
The ballpark? Okay, that's where I would too, because I didn't know if those, that's where I bring her to school every morning, but I didn't know if those doors.
So how do you get there? Because I have a client here that I've come a few times.
Okay.
I've met with him last week. But I've always come to the front because I didn't know if there was another.
Yeah, so you came the front up the stairs and,
Good for you.
yeah, so it's just right there. Oh,
Why?
well, yeah, well, there's actually like three, there's Legacy High School, there's the Summit Center and Bridges. So where's the preschool?
It's the entrance that you come through from Climate Park.
So you come, over one, probably.
Oh,
So
maybe.
we came in, the main doors where the office is just right there. But I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
see,
a preschool.
oh, is it?
Well, it's a preschool, like it has the sign. So the preschool is like, when you come in, you come this way for post height and then that way for.
Okay. And they're doing terms of school.
Yeah, I
So
saw that.
There were people in that classroom, and that's what he says, that there probably will be parking on both sides and everywhere. So
So is it like behind the school
the,
where you park normally, where you would normally?
yeah, it's in the bus, so they have a big parking lot out there and then a bus lane.
Okay.
On the east side.
Okay.
And we're really about right in the middle, from the front door to the back doors.
Okay.
So just down the hall and jump over, or up the hall and jump over.
Okay.
Is your client at Bridges or? Yeah, maybe I'll walk through the halls and just make sure there's not anybody looking for us. I keep checking my phone, but I don't think anybody's out. is my daughter. Hello. How are you? I haven't seen you forever. I know. Yeah, this is Nicole. And this is Luann. And this is Jody. Yes. Okay. Right. So, yes. Maybe. Yes, yes. No, you're gonna intro, welcome and family networks. Okay. And then I'll do Milo's spiel. And then I'll turn the camera.
Okay. We're ready? All right, welcome. We're glad that you're here with us tonight. And my name is Jody, and I am a Family to Family Network leader, co-leader with Tracy Brown, and we are with the Utah County. The Family to Family Network is funded through DSPD, Division of Services for People with Disabilities. And their intent is to help those that are on the wait list to have some community support. And so we're just parents of children with special needs and volunteer to do this. If you're not in the Utah County, there is one in most of Utah, so be sure and reach out to us. And we're excited that you're here tonight.
Hey. Thank you, Jody. Oh, no, come on in. You're great. We're just getting started. I made myself a few notes because my mind goes blank when I get up here. But I just wanted to say welcome to everybody online and those of you here in person. I'm excited to be here with you and to celebrate your awesomeness because we are awesome, right? As caregivers. This is something that I feel is important. I think it's important to make sure we take care of ourselves and keep ourselves healthy and energized and happy so that we have the energy to take care of our kids. So what does that mean? What does taking care of us mean? We'll touch on a couple of those things tonight, but there really is a great, big, huge, long list of things that we can do to take care of ourselves. So I'm going to turn the time over to McCall, and we'll let her talk to us about some meditation. Also, while she's getting ready and coming up, we do have some door prizes. We have some pampering kits that everybody will get, and then we'll do the drawing for the door prizes. We have some teeth whitening, we have some gel nails and some toes. So part of taking care of ourselves is pampering ourselves a little bit. And we have to do that a little once in a while too.
All right, so thank you for the introduction. So I'm McCall, and should I use the mic or can you hear me okay? Good. Okay, we're just gonna keep going.
As long as you stay close. It's gonna be
Okay,
fine, but if
perfect.
it starts to move around, you have to wear it so the camera follows.
Okay, sounds good. I'm like, I know I have a quiet voice. It's fine, we'll work with it. So I'm the owner at Mindful McCall, and obviously it's all about mindfulness. That's my jam. And so today I was going to talk to you about just the benefits, but I wanted to actually go further than that and just kind of show you all the different ways to be mindful, because there's like an infinite amount of ways that you could do it. And so I'll be teaching you some of the ways that have worked for me. And anyways, we'll just kind of go from there. So mindfulness, this is my definition of it. There's two on Google, but mine's better. Mindfulness is awareness in the current moment without judgment, which in turn creates a space for insight and emotional spiritual, or physical processing. So it's a full body experience. And I do kind of feel like it's like a spiritual workout, or I don't know, what's the word? Emotional workout, a spiritual or emotional workout, because it does take practice, and the more you do it, the stronger and easier it does get. And so there's that. So the benefits, there's a lot, but some that I've noticed personally in my own life is it relieves stress, gives you mental clarity, improves your sleep, lowers your blood pressure, reduces chronic pain, and treats heart disease. I love mindfulness. Like I said, there's more benefits, but those are like the top 5 or 6. And then, okay, so with mindfulness, there is a cycle. So you will typically self-direct into mindfulness, whether that's like just telling yourself in your head, like, okay, I'm going to meditate right now, or just acknowledging your breath and say, okay, I'm going to focus on my breathing for 5 minutes. And that's what you would do as basically your mindfulness or your meditation. They do kind of go hand in hand. They are different things. So mindfulness, like I said, is just the awareness of like your current moment, but you use the meditation as a tool. That's one of your tools that you can use to get there. So, so the first section, like I said, of the cycle of mindfulness is self-directed focus. And that's always going to be your number 1. And number 2 is wander. Your mind will always wander before it becomes present. So it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just, that's what it does. Your brain wanders. That's why I think people freak out when you have to take tests, like academic tests, because you have to sit for a long period of time and only focus on that. So it takes a lot of brain power. It takes a lot of self-discipline, and it just, for me, it's obviously, I can describe it pretty good because I have also personally stressed out over those tests. But yes, your mind will wander, and that's just part of the cycle. So the next thing in this cycle is noticing your thoughts. So whether they're wandering or you're focused on the intention, just notice your thoughts. And then if they have wandered, this is where the 4th step comes in, where you guide it back. So acknowledge the thought and then just make a U-turn and get back to that intention or back to that focus that you set for your meditation or whatever it is that you're doing for your mindfulness practice. So, and like I said, it's completely normal. I've been doing meditation for like 2-3 years now, and almost always my brain will wander for a hot minute, and then I become aware of it, I acknowledge it, and I decide if I want to work with those thoughts or not. And then I go back to whatever I'm meditating like. So yes, don't worry about that. Totally normal. So next I wanted to, I'm kind of going quite quick, right? The next thing I wanted to talk about is formal and informal mindfulness. Because when I first started, like just learning about it, I just always assumed that mindfulness meant meditation. So I dived headstrong into meditation and just thought it was like the best thing ever. And then as I learned more about mindfulness, I realized that there's more to it than just sitting still. It's actually making your mind still, like still enough to focus or still enough to contemplate or reflect. It is a skill, and it's more than just sitting and being. So formal is your meditation practices, guided or unguided. So like the guided ones would be like, so like, for example, like I would guide you through a meditation with like visualization or talk you through how to do it. That is a guided meditation. The unguided meditation is, the best way I can describe it is just when you see people just like sitting like cross-legged and just kind of like that is meditation, totally and completely. So you're just letting your thoughts be, but you're still focused without those prompts. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. So informal, I'm so excited. These are great. So the informal, this is usually my favorite part because you can do mindfulness anywhere, anytime, for as long as you need to. So informal, in the shower, you can, let's say you went into the shower and you were really stressed or you had a bad day or something and you're like, I'm gonna go take a shower to release this. So you're like, okay, so you go in there and great. So you're in there taking a shower and then you notice the water. And that's your first thing, is you're noticing the water. And then you're noticing like the texture of the water, the temperature of the water. Where is it hitting on your body? What is it doing inside? Like, how is it making you feel? Just thinking those things and going through that with yourself, it's actually a lot easier said than done. But also, just even asking yourself like that one question of like, what does the water make me feel as it's pouring down, is a great way to just have your meditation focusing on like the warmth and comfort or whatever it's giving you. And so, yeah, that's an example. This next one, if you guys have a dishwasher, this doesn't really apply to you, but for people like me who wash by hand, this is your thing. So, and I have to say, I hate washing the dishes. So that is something that when I'm doing it, I do purposely go through the cycle of mindfulness where I'm like, okay, I'm washing the dishes. You know what I mean? Like I do kind of have to prompt myself through it, but it's because I know it's just one of those chores that I can't do. If you want me to scrub a toilet, do laundry, vacuum, like wash the dog, like I will do all the other chores happily. But if you want me to do dishes, anyways, it takes some practice. But this does help so much. And I'm so glad that I've started it because my attitude is still the same where I'm like, man, I just really don't like that chore. But now instead of just like grudging and like, through it, I can get through it and have a pleasant experience and use that time as reflection or contemplation. And who cares that I'm washing the dishes? Like I'm not washing dishes to have clean dishes. I'm washing the dishes to reflect or to be. And so with that, some ways that you can do an informal practice is like also noticing the water. So like the temperature of the water again, how it feels on your hands. But one thing I like to do, and maybe this is like a little weird, but this is something that I do during my own practice with it, is I'll focus on like the dish and how the dish feels, like not the gunk. I don't want to focus on the gunk, but actually like, okay, what kind of material is this made of? Like, what's the color? And just kind of go through it like that. And once I find it's something that I want to focus on, like one time, I was actually cleaning like a porcelain plate, no, it wasn't my porcelain plate. It was my marble plate. It was my marble design. And I was just like, it got me kind of going on, like marble is made of this. And like, I went on kind of a marble tangent for the rest of the day. I was so focused on it that it put me on like, not so much a happier track, but I was on like a better intentional track, if that makes sense. I wanted to learn more about that thing. Like, yeah, it was just, some graphic that Target or something put on there, but it was, it put meaning to what I was doing, and it made me think deeper than I'm washing the dishes. But one other thing, sorry, I'm really passionate about the dishes too, but one other thing with the dishes is I have noticed that, what was it? Like, sometimes with meditation, I have heard from people that I've like helped do like the formal and informal meditations with, because I've told them exactly what I'm telling you. And they're like, it stresses me out. I can't just sit still, it stresses me out. And I'm like, hey, but you're washing dishes, for example. Actually, you're not actually, you're still in your body, like you're doing stuff. So, you know, like, just keep practicing it and it becomes a lot simpler. And really, it's just about awareness. Okay, I want to also mention this too. So, strength training or any type of exercise, but particularly strength training, just because that's what I do. And it helps. I have anxiety and PTSD, so I am obsessed with like strength training or anything that I'm like, I'm going to kick your butt. I'm not really going to, but I want to feel that's just, and it is kind of just my thing. I really do. I just love strength training. It's my thing. And so, but I didn't like it for a while because I had to go be around people and I didn't know what they were going to think. And I was just like, I was little, like I had like no muscle back then. I was just like, I'm just this scrawny little person. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, this is so uncomfortable. And then I had a friend who, it's ironic, because, you know, they're not certified or anything. They're not like a meditation guru like I am now, but this thing that they told me about the mind-body connection kind of got me where I realized that working out, however you work out, is also a form of meditation or mindfulness. So with that, like your bicep curls, for example. So focus on the movement of your biceps. What are they doing? Is it going up? Is it going side? Focus on, like, there's so many things that you can focus on, but if you just choose one thing out of that exercise, that is being mindful. If you're focusing on like 3 or 4 things, basically welcome to my mind, but that's still not being mindful. That's just like, what's it called? Like whack-a-mole, bing, bing, bing. You're just picking all these different things and you're not actually focused on the one thing. So whether that's, like I said, focusing on the movement, focusing on your breathing, which a lot of personal trainers say a lot, like breathe in, like they'll tell you what you should be doing on those movements, so that you're doing it right and not getting injured or anything. You can focus on the type of equipment you're using. Like, there's just so many things. One thing I like to focus on is the muscles being worked, because then, because I feel like I'm still the newbie. Like, I've done it for years, but now that I'm like training, there's sometimes that I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to do this movement and it's supposed to work all of this or this one thing. That doesn't make sense to me when I Googled it or when I've asked my trainer, like, this makes no sense how this movement equals this, but okay, so I do it anyway. And as I'm doing it, that's like a self-check for me. That's how I check my form and safety. But that's also when I get to that safety check, because I have anxiety, I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing the movement right. I'm doing it safely. Therefore, I'm safe. Doesn't matter who's around me. I'm safe in this spot doing this thing. And I know it sounds so silly because it's just like a small thing, but those are just examples. But like, you can do it even with driving. Like, yeah, driving, eating, you can mindfully eat your food, and you know, it really just has to do with a lot of like the texture, how it feels, how it makes you feel. Those are things that you can focus on as you're doing an informal practice. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so the cycle of mindfulness and the dimensions of mindfulness are slightly different from each other. So with this, there's 3 dimensions instead of like 4 points. So the first one is placing your attention in the present moment. So this is still in step 1, where you're self-directing to focus. So what you'll do is you'll say, okay, I'm gonna just focus on my breathing, which is really good if you're stressed out and you're not able to just like, hey, I'm gonna take 5 and go do a meditation practice. This is great. Just place your attention first in the present moment. Focus on what's happening here and now. You can focus on what your body is doing, which is great for if you're like tense and you're like, oh, I didn't know I was tense in my shoulders. Or or you can focus on your surroundings. So like, I can hear, I don't know, we'll do something pleasant. I can hear like kids playing or the birds chirping or something like that. That is just placing your direction in the present moment. So after you've done that, once your mind starts to wander, because it always does, it's just what brains do, then you will do a non-judgmental recognition. So you'll just kind of sit with the thought and say, okay. And obviously, if there's a lot of thoughts, just pick one and just sit with it and say, okay. So I'm going to withhold judgment from this thought, or I will not avoid this thought. And then you can think it, whatever that is. Just notice it. And instead of thinking, oh, I shouldn't think this, or oh, I shouldn't feel this. First of all, I promise no one's going through your conscience. Like no one knows exactly what you're thinking all the time ever. And I promise we're not like all on our phones with our Twitter feed, like waiting for your like worst thought. Like just let it go. Like think what you need to think. Because no one's taking tabs unless you do Twitter. Or Facebook, I guess. Anyways, but when you're doing your meditation or your mindfulness practice, when you're doing that non-judgmental recognition, you literally are thinking, instead of thinking I shouldn't feel, frustrated or angry or like sad, whatever the emotion is, or like if it's towards a person, like I shouldn't feel this way about so-and-so. Well, guess what? You do, so acknowledge it and then sit with it and decide, okay, is this serving me? Is this serving them? Is this helping the situation? Like there's basically just acknowledge the thought and then go from there. So the question I ask myself when I'm at that non-judgmental recognition, and there are times too when I'll catch myself saying, oh, I shouldn't think this, I shouldn't feel this. Because like I said, this is just what your brain does. It takes me a lot of deciphering. So rather than, I'll pin down the thought, but rather than just saying to myself, like, like, is this serving them? If I don't even know the opposite emotion or how it's being caused to feel the opposite of what I am feeling and thinking, I don't even want to touch that question yet. So I will instead ask myself, what experience, emotion, or person is this thought stemming from? Because sometimes our thoughts are from other people. And so once I've figured out that part, and I just sit there and think, even if it takes me the whole 15 minutes of my meditation just to think of why I feel the way I feel, it's such a release because I know now, this is great. This is awesome. And then when I go to meditate again or go do something mindful again, and if that thought pops up, I've already distinguished what the emotion is or what it's coming from. So then I can ask myself, okay, is this serving them? Is this serving me? Like, is this serving the situation? How can I change this? Like, that's when you can start dissecting it a little bit deeper and coming up with a plan with that thought. Because really, like I said, mindfulness is awareness of your being so that it can lead into that insight and into the different solutions and all the other things that come with that focus. The final one is focusing your awareness on whatever it is you are doing in the moment. So first you placed your attention in the present moment, then you did non-judgmental recognition for one thought, and always stick to just one thought. Don't play tag with it or you'll just, anyways, stick to one thought that you're going to do a non-judgmental thing, non-judgmental analyzation of. So your third one is going to be act with awareness. So focus on, like I said, whatever you're doing in the moment. So this for if you're around other people, bring yourself back. You can go ahead and think and feel what you need to, but bring yourself back and say, okay, I'm going to focus on my breath and just decide how many breaths you're going to count or how you're going to do it. And just focus on that. Or if you're if you're supposed to, I don't know, help someone color or something, and you know that's what you should be doing instead of being in your head, you've already acknowledged it. And even if you can't acknowledge it and do all the things, you can still say, okay, what should I be doing instead of thinking this? I should be helping so-and-so color. Okay, affirmation today, intention for the day. I am going to help so-and-so color. And then immediately just put all your meditation energy and mindfulness energy into that thing that you're doing. So it is kind of a form of a focus. To some extent, it's kind of the same thing, or I guess not the same thing. It's a similar thing to focus, but really mindfulness is just a way to get that focus, especially if it doesn't come easily. This is, like I said, just a great tool for it. So now I wanted to read to you guys just a few quotes, and I had to research how to say his name because he's a genius. He's a Vietnamese monk, and I really don't want to butcher his name. So I had to Google how to say it. So it's pronounced Thich Nhat Hanh. And if you Google him, he's amazing. He wrote several books on mindfulness and meditation. But the one that I love is The Miracle of Mindfulness. So I wanted to just, like I said, read a few things. So the presence of mindfulness is the presence of life. That's one of his quotes. And it's so true, because when we're focused on mindfulness and the present moment, whatever that looks like, even if it's chaos, that's life sometimes. Life is sometimes chaotic, and all we can do is be present in it. And that's okay. And so another one, this one actually made me laugh because it's so good. But then I kind of just as I was sitting here just talking to Emily, the other speaker, I was just kind of smiling, and I was just like, oh man, forgot to change out my wedding ring. And then I remembered something else I forgot. And I just did, because I finally sat still long enough to remembered it. So it's fine. I don't live that far, but I can't go get the thing. And so it made me laugh. So this is the quote that I really wanted to share. And I am a terrible example of this, obviously, but I love it. Mindfulness frees us from forgetfulness and makes it possible to live fully each moment of life. So I love it. So yeah, it helps you to live just so present and really understand the words be in the moment, just be. When we feel oh, just be. That's what they're talking about, is when you are just being, you can remember things and you can live each moment completely and fully and no regrets. I love it. And then this one, this is my last one. You should know how to breathe to maintain mindfulness, as breathing is a natural and extremely effective tool which can prevent dispersion. So that's also from Thich Nhat Hanh. And it is so true. There have been times when I'll be at my other job, and it's in retail. And if I've been with a difficult customer, or I was something like this happened to once, where I went into work stressed because I didn't have time to process the thing that was happening before. So I was okay. And I did in mindfulness in the part. It was one of those things that my brain just really needed to process and take time for. Didn't have time for it, couldn't call into work. So I was okay, here we go. And so with that, once I remembered that quote about breathing, I was oh yeah, I can't control that I am unfortunately stuck here for a little bit, and I can't deal with what I want to deal with, and I can't process what I feel needs to be dealt with right now. So what I could do instead, I'll just breathe. And then as soon as I notice, I'm going to focus on breathing, I noticed I was tensing my shoulders, tensing my neck. My breathing was crazy. I don't think I even breathed for 5 minutes. I swear, it was very bad. So once I realized that, immediately I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 4-7-8 breathing. I know that helps me sleep, but I'm gonna do it for standing up and getting focused on work. I'm gonna focus on standing here, waiting for people to come through my line so I can be the best for them. And as soon as I did that, and luckily I had some time before some customers came, when I did that, I was able to focus on my breathing. All of a sudden, that's problem had solutions, but I could deal with it later, and I was accepting of it. And all of a sudden, these people really were the most important people in my life, despite the fact that my situation may or may not have had to do with like a friend or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Who are also like, you know, they are my people. But right now, these are my people, and this is where I'm giving my time, and I'm okay with it, and I love it. So I'm gonna mindfully scan their groceries, make sure they're having a great day. Maybe talking to them will help. And anyways, it just opened up a ton of solutions. And by the end of my shift, it was a fantastic shift. I actually went home and I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is wild. This is amazing. It's amazing just focusing on the breath and remembering what you're in control of can do. So yes, mindfulness is very powerful. If I have the I went over, sorry. If I have time, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear the music or not. But I wanted to do just a 3-minute meditation, and it is unguided. I literally just want you focusing on your breathing, however you're comfortable breathing for 3 minutes. So let's see. And of course I can't find it. Okay. Okay, so the sound is bells. And oh, I should warn you about that actually. So it will be bells. And I actually didn't realize this until a few days ago. There's a lot of symbolism with mindfulness and their origins. The bell is a symbol. Those who are like in the monastery or wherever they're at to do a mindfulness practice. And so the bell meditation, I promise it's 3 minutes. It's not more than that because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But this 3-minute meditation, you will hear chimes of these bells. And that's when I want you to refocus your breathing. So you can count, like when you hear the bell, this is what I do with this one personally, but when you hear the bell, you can count how many breaths it takes or seconds it takes to hear the second one, and then do the same thing. And you can really feel a sense of a change in your body and your mind as you do it. And so go ahead and close your eyes for it. And then I will just push play. So when you hear the first bell, like I said, just focus on the breathing. That is good. I hope you guys feel a lot better than when you came in. Or if you were feeling good already, I hope you feel even better now. Because mindfulness is like a practice of elevation, of thoughts, of everything. So thank you so much for letting me speak with you, and sorry that I went so long. Apparently I get really into it. I was trying to stick to my notes and I did, but I had a lot to say. So thank you for letting me be a part of this. And I sell intentional day planners and a few other wellness products. Let's see. Oh, I'm on Instagram. I'm at Mindful McCall. My website is mccallwright.com. So if you guys have any questions or want to just know what I'm doing next in the next moment, just let me know. Thank you.
So did we get some names in? No, we didn't get names in. Do you want to just number in your mind the people here in the room and the people on Zoom? And I'll pick one and let's do two quick ones. We're going to do the teeth whitening for number let's do number 17.
Is Sherry I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that.
Congratulations, Sherry. We will get this in the mail to you. Unless you're close and want to pick it up tomorrow in Payson, you could message on the Utah County Family to Family Network page. And we are going to do one full set of acrylic or gel nails to number 2.
Oh, really? Oh, there you go. And then we'll turn it to Emily.
Okay, so I need this because I'm going to wander. That's what I do. Are they able to answer on Zoom?
Yeah.
If I ask questions?
Yep,
Okay.
in the chat, or
Um,
they can unmute themselves.
Okay, awesome. All right, I would love that. So my name is Emily Allen. I'm a certified holistic health coach, which is a really long way to say I love to talk about food. So I'm so excited to be here tonight and talk to you about how to pamper yourself using delicious, healthy foods. Those are words we don't often tie together, but I would love to introduce you to that concept and kind of talk to you about how this works. And I want to start off by telling a story. Not long ago, I had a friend come to me. Well, she messaged me. We're kind of more pen pals than friends. We chat all the time. And she said, well, I failed at being a mom today. And I said, well, hold up, what happened? And she said, we just had scrambled eggs for dinner. And I said, and? So? And she said, well, I didn't cook a meal, and my husband likes a meal, and our kids, like they like something, like it was just scrambled eggs. And I was like, hold up, honey, just a minute here. You made a very economical meal that is full of protein. It is full of so many nutrients. I know this woman. She scrambled in some kind of vegetables. She hid it in there somewhere. Like, I know her very well. You had them fed in like 10 minutes tops, which they were hungry and needed it. And they probably loved it, right? And then they got mom for the evening. How's this a mom fail? Okay. And I want to tell you this story because how often do we as humans have this? I love McCall. Thank you so much. Everything you said, I was like, oh, this ties in so well with what I wanted to say. One thing that I do as a holistic health coach is mindset work, because everyone thinks, okay, most of my clients come to me, hey, I want to lose weight. We all want to lose weight, right? I eat cookies too, right? So if losing weight were as simple as everyone says it is, count calories and eat less than you move, right? If it were that simple, there would be no one who wanted to lose weight. We'd all be there. That's not the way it works. We have to change our minds in order to be the healthy person that we want to be. And we have to change our thought processes. And so one of the thought processes that we run through everyone beats themselves up when it comes to food. I've had so many women come to me and say, well, I failed my diet. So I ate 12 cookies. Okay, I've done this. Guilty, right? So I started the next diet the next Monday. And, you know, something happened and we were out on the road instead of being home, and it was lunchtime and the kids were starving and screaming in the back, and we went to McDonald's and diet fail. I guess I suck at this. Give up. Time. And that's just the way that human beings are. This is not something that is usual or wrong about any of us. We all do it. And so what I love tonight is just kind of talk to you about switching mindset to a mindset of love. If I were to show love to myself, think as a feeling, right? It is, right? We see the people we love. You get that warmness right here. That's love. There are two definitions of the word love. One is that feeling, the thing. It's movement. It is when you in the middle of the night because your kids threw up everywhere and you love them so much, you're going to help them out, right? Action of, oh, I see this thing that my husband or my friend or whoever it is that you love, they would really like that. Mom loves these flowers. I'm going to grab them and use an action to go and give her these flowers, right? Love is a verb, it's an action. What if we use that action to show love to ourselves, right? What if we decided that first of all, I'll give you some like really healthy food tips quickly in just a minute, but first I wanted to touch on, if we really were to truly love ourselves and show that love through action, what would we do, right? Would we eat those vegetables because, man, that's going to feel good in our bodies and it's going to give us what we need to get through the day? What if we wake up early for that workout? Because for me and my kids, they know mom works out from this time to this time. Don't talk to her before then. Do not. Grumpy mom lives before. Happy mom is after, right? And I do not work out because of any physical shape or size that I want to be in. I personally work out because it helps my brain be happy. What if we were to use love to do those things that make us feel good and make us better for our people? So, okay, I'm just really quickly going to run through a few tools that I have for you, because gosh, you guys, being healthy is hard, right? Eating good things is hard, especially in this day and age where we have such easy access to the stuff that doesn't serve us very well, right? So I wanted to give you some tools and some options that you can use, little tips and tricks, okay? We live in an all or nothing world where we feel like if we're not doing all the things, give up, okay? Very first, I give you the phrase something. If you do something that's a little bit better, if you eat one more vegetable today than you did yesterday, right? And I wasn't going to do this, but we're going to do this because I feel like we need some stretching. You guys at home, please do this. I'm going to teach you something. So another thing that I do with my clients is a lot of habit formation, right? Motivation is something that lasts this long and then it goes. That's just a fact of life. People say, no, you're supposed to. That's the way. One can build healthy habits is positive reinforcement. And one really when a football player runs the field and they score their goal and they spike it, what do they do with their bodies? I would love if you guys would show me. Oh yeah, we've got a dance here. Have you ever seen them do this? Yeah, or they pound their chest like something big and like very like, yeah, yes, I'm here. Now I would love, I know, sorry, I'm going to pick on all of you here. You guys at home, please do this. Spread your arms out really big, just for a minute. Yes. This right here sends endorphins to your brain. Just this. This is a power pose. This is positive reinforcement. Now, the next time you do something healthy for your body, I want you to sit back, make your kids laugh at you and be like, what are you doing? Right? But you eat that carrot and then you go, oh, yes. And that enforces the habit. Okay. So celebrate your little wins, all or something, reinforce those habits. We know the things that we need to do to be really good to our bodies, right? For years, once a week, I would call Pizza Hut. I knew it was not good for my body, but we did it anyway, right? We know eating fruits and vegetables is going to help us. We know, so one tool I want to give you as far as eating fruits and vegetables, did you guys know that each color of produce has different effects on your body? You guys have heard, hey, you eat your carrots, you see better, right? Yeah, that's all orange things help you see better. It's not just carrots. All the different colors do different things. We need that variety in our lives. So anyone who wants to, you can email me. I have a coloring sheet and it does look like a coloring sheet you would give a 2-year-old. I love it. I don't care. You don't have to have this if you don't want to. But if you email me, emily@healthbyemily.com and let me know, hey, can I have the coloring sheet? I would love to send it to you. And it's a class. And, crayons or whatever your favorite color thing is. And when you, let's say you wake up in the morning and you blue color that you want to eat. You have a salad for lunch, go color in the green, right? And see if, can you get on that and vegetables. So that's a tool. Another tool that I like to give my clients is just call the go and find something you've never seen before. Don't know what to do with it. But you guys, we have Pinterest, right? We live in a world with Pinterest and so many things. We did this once with my kids. I had had artichokes so many times, like from a can on pizza. I'd never had a real artichoke, and I told my kids, go find something, anything. Just pick something in the produce section, bring it over. And my daughter brought me these artichokes. I'm like, I don't know what to do with these. Pinterest. We love artichokes. It's our favorite thing now. So that's another great thing to do as a grocery game. And then the last thing that I wanted to give you, if you go to healthbyemily.com/fast meals, healthbyemily.com/fast meals, I have listed there, it's just a very simple post, nothing fancy, but it's a whole bunch of meals that on those days, we all have those days that you get home and you're like, oh, okay, now I have to cook for these people. Oh, I don't want to. That was last night. We had cereal. We all do it, right? Here's a list of healthy meals that you can pull out of your pocket on those nights. So just go there. Feel free to use any of those. And I would love to hear from you, any ideas that you have. I like to add to those lists and hand them out to my people. So really what I hope to leave with you tonight is please choose love for yourself, right? Acknowledge your humanness and that no one is perfect, and that one little thing that you do better today than yesterday is a success, and you should celebrate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And then I opened my notebook to write your things down. And guess what? I lost my notes. So we're winging it. But just thanks you guys for coming. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I can see mindfulness in helping us to appreciate our kids and be with them. And I can see mindfulness helping us through the hard times. And of course, feeding our bodies and keeping us healthy, keeping our kids healthy, will make us better, make us happier, and help us to feel better. One point that I wanted to bring out, kids with disabilities come with all kinds of extras. Kids, and sometimes our lives become a list of therapies and doctor's appointments and IEPs and HYZs and all those fun letters that we learn. Most importantly, by taking care of you and keeping you healthy and happy, my biggest hope is that we enjoy our kids. Every day, for one moment out of the day, I hope that we enjoy a moment, enjoy something super special about our kids, even in the hard times. So let's do 3 more drawings. So 18 was our number, right? Let's do 12. You're good. This is for one set of gel toes. Okay. How are we going to keep track of these? Or some. And then also, if you're not in Utah County and you think that these won't work, because I know Zoom is awesome and we draw from all over the state, just so we have the, remind us who this one was. Sherry. So Sherry. And for the teeth whitening. And then Stephanie for the gel toes. And these are things that you will need to come to Payson, Salem area to redeem. These things we can mail out. So let's do number 1 and number 18.
Number 1 is going to be the gallon pen. Your daughter, right?
And 18. Pair of leggings, LuLaRoe leggings. They're just black. Casey Carroll. Okay, and then just a reminder, we have the survey that we'll launch for the Zoom people. We have a little paper for you guys here to fill out to tell us how we did and how we can change things. It helps us keep track of numbers and helps our funding with DSPD. Also, please make sure you initial the sign-in sheet and take a Pampering gift for sure. And that whole back table is drawing gifts, so you guys help. And this is just a little thank you for spending your time with us.
All people in the Zoom chat. And thank you, Emily, so much for giving us those, your website and contact information. I typed in the chat, but people are wondering if you have contact information. Oh, do you want to come just type? Yes. If you got an email or anything, and then that Instagram. I've already followed you on Instagram. I have to get a device here looking for me to do that. But basically, say all my talking. At least it was all like, you know, I just had my crystal on it. But anyway, it all had a point. So. Oh wait. Oh wait. Don't.
So our inner that was not able to do that. So there you go. Oh.
I tried to joke and you said it and say, so like the weeks I ate on my way in, it's not fitting in this category, right?
Sometimes
Brown?
you need to love yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Absolutely. That's true, it's only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone who completed the poll.